Well, hello everybody, it's Grandpa Scott, and I'm back today with another new story and great adventure. I know we've read a few stories from this book series before, and I think you're going to like this one today too. Today's book is Disney's Winnie the Pooh and the Windy Day. Can you imagine what's going to happen to Winnie and his friends when a windy day? Have you ever been outside on a super windy day? Well, if not, I think you're going to get a good idea what it's like just by Winnie the Pooh and his friends. So, should we get started? Okay, let's go. It was a very windy day in the 100-acre. Pooh was sitting on his thoughtful spot. All of a sudden, the earth in front of him began to move. What could it be? Pooh thought. Gopher head popped out. Hello, Gopher, Pooh said. You should hurry home, Pooh, Gopher said very seriously. It's going to be a very windy day. I don't mind, said Pooh. I think I'll go see my friends and wish them a very happy windy day. So Pooh started off. I don't know if that's the best idea. What do you think? On his way, Pooh met Piglet, who seemed to be in a great hurry. Where are you going? Pooh called out to his friend. To tell you the truth, said Piglet, I really don't know. I'm waiting for the wind to show me. At that moment, Piglet was swept away by the wind. Here, said Pooh, I'll help you. Pooh took a hold of Piglet's scarf, but the wind was very strong, and it lifted Piglet off the ground. Don't worry, little Piglet, said Pooh. I've got you. Wow, that must be a super strong wind. But the scarf began to unravel, and Piglet started to fly higher into the air. Oh my! Pooh held tightly to the string of wool, but the wind pulled Piglet along. Pooh followed him on the ground. They came to Kanga's house. Roo yelled, Look, it's a kite! Can I fly it, Pooh? Please? No, I'm sorry, Roo, Pooh called back. But have a nice windy day. Eeyore had just finished building a new house. That's it, Eeyore said. It'll stand for a long time. But just then Pooh came by at full speed. He crashed into Eeyore's new house, and the sticks flew in all directions. Oops, sorry, Eeyore, cried Pooh, but have a nice windy day. Don't mention it, Pooh, Eeyore said. He was pretty sad about his house getting wrecked, wasn't he? Rabbit was picking carrots in his garden. He loved carrots more than anything, but he wished there was a faster way to pull them from the ground. Suddenly, Rabbit heard a voice calling out to him. Have a nice windy day, Rabbit, Pooh yelled as the wind dragged him through Rabbit's carrot patch. Pooh's feet dug up the carrots. The carrots flew right into the wheelbarrow. Rabbit was so happy. Come back when I'm ready to harvest my cabbage, he called after Pooh. Huh, that worked out great. At Owl's house, Owl was fast asleep. Suddenly the wind became very strong. Both Pooh and Piglet were lifted into the air. Owl woke up because he heard a strange sound at the window. He wondered what it could be. Well, you look at that, Owl exclaimed. Somebody stuck Piglet and Pooh to my window. Wow, the wind really blew them, didn't it? Owl opened the window for them. Pooh and Piglet flew right across the room and hit the wall. Correct me if I'm wrong, Owl began, but isn't it quite windy today? Yes, and very windy day, said Piglet, and he slid down into a stool. Oof, Pooh said, landing in a chair. Have a very nice windy day, by the way. Well, thank you, Pooh, said Owl. You know, that reminds me of a real windy day back in... Excuse me, Owl, Pooh interrupted. By any chance would you have honey in that pot? Pooh had noticed the pot sitting on Owl's table. Why, yes, of course, Owl said. Help yourself. But just as Pooh reached for the honey pot, Owl's house began to shake. Uh-oh, something's happening. Pooh saved the honey pot from falling. As Pooh started to eat the honey, the wind pushed over the tree. Poor Piglet flew across the room straight into Pooh. The honey smeared all over Pooh's face. Owl's house crashed to the ground. Nobody was hurt, but Owl was a little confused. Somebody has tipped over my tree with my house in it, Owl said sadly. It wasn't you, was it, Pooh? Owl asked. I don't think so, was all Pooh could say. Later, the windy day turned into a windy night. Pooh was at home in his bed when he heard a strange sound. Is that you, Piglet? Pooh called out, after opening the front door, but there was no answer. Suddenly, Tigger bounced and pushed Pooh to the floor. Oh, you scared me, said Pooh. Yep, Tigger said confidently. Tiggers are wonderful at being scary. But heffalumps and woozles are even more scary. They eat honey, you know. You better beware. Then Tigger bounced out the door. Pooh decided to stay up all night and protect his honey. So Tigger had kind of scared him about that. Pooh tried to stay awake, but his eyelids got very heavy. Finally, he fell asleep. While asleep, Pooh had a terrible nightmare. Heffalumps and woozles were everywhere. They came in every shape and color. They were stealing and eating his honey. Poor Pooh didn't have a chance. His honey was being eaten right in front of him. Then Pooh woke up and discovered that his house was flooded. Oh no, now what's happened? While Pooh was sleeping, it had started to rain in the 100-acre wood. It had rained and rained and rained. The entire wood was flooded. It was a terrible night. By the next morning, the water reached to the top of Piglet's door. Inside Piglet's house was also flooded. Piglet woke up because his bed began to float. He saw all his things floating around the room. Oh, what am I going to do? He asked himself. I'm just a small animal and get very frightened easily. What am I going to do? What is Piglet going to do? Piglet decided to do something. He jumped on a chair and paddled over to his cupboard. On the way, he filled a few pots and pans with some water. He took a piece of paper and wrote. Then Piglet put the note in the bottle and threw the bottle out the window. He wanted someone to come rescue him. Finally, the water got so high that Piglet sailed out his window on his chair, right out of his house. At Pooh's house, also the water had risen. Pooh rescued most of his precious things, his honey. Pooh took all his honey pots out into a branch of the tree. Then he decided to sit with them until someone came by to save him. After a few minutes, his stomach made a rumble sound. It was time for something sweet to eat. Perhaps I should wait, Pooh said to himself. But I can't argue with an empty stomach. I'll just have a smackerel. Pooh put his head into the pot and began to eat. All of a sudden, Pooh lost his balance and fell headfirst off the branch. Then he floated down the river. This is just getting worse all the time. By now the rain had stopped. Everyone in the 100-acre wood went to Christopher Robin's house. Where are Piglet and Pooh? Christopher asked. No one knew. Look what I found, cried Roo. Oh, it's a message in a bottle, Christopher Robin said. How exciting! Here, I'll read it. Christopher Robin took out the paper and read Piglet's note. Help! Piglet! Me! We have to go help Piglet, Christopher Robin said. Owl, you must fly out and find Piglet. Owl flew over the 100-acre wood to look for Piglet, but after a while he saw Piglet sailing along in his chair, and Pooh was floating upside down next to him. Owl told them a rescue team was on its way. I'm sorry, Owl, said Piglet, but I couldn't stay with me. This is scary for such a small animal. Owl tried to help Piglet by telling him a long story. Owl got so caught up in his story that he didn't hear Piglet cry out, There's a waterfall up ahead. Owl, what are we going to do? Pooh and Piglet tumbled down the waterfall. Pooh came up sitting on Piglet's chair. There he is, Christopher Robin yelled when he saw Pooh. Oh, hello, Christopher Robin, Pooh said. Have you seen Piglet? Just then Pooh's honey pot came up from the water. Christopher Robin picked it up and out popped Piglet. Here I am, Piglet cheered. Pooh, you have saved Piglet, Christopher Robin exclaimed. That was a very brave thing to do. I have? Pooh asked. Yes, said Christopher Robin. You deserve a hero's party. Well, now it's starting to sound good, isn't it? Later that day, his friends had a party. We are having a party, Christopher Robin said, because Pooh has done a very brave thing. Sorry to interrupt, Eeyore said suddenly, but I've found it. Found what? They all wanted to know. A new house for Owl, Eeyore said. Since Owl's house had fallen to the ground, Eeyore had been looking for a new house for Owl. Well, where is it? Piglet wanted to know. Just follow me, Eeyore said. Everyone stopped outside Piglet's house. Why are we stopping here? Rabbit asked. It's Owl's new house, Eeyore said happily. Yes, it says Owl's house on the sign, Owl said, even though there were a few letters missing. No one had the heart to tell Eeyore that he was giving away Piglet's house. What am I going to do? Said Piglet. Tell him it's your house, Rabbit, said Piglet. No, Piglet said sadly. The house now belongs to our good friend Owl. But where are you going to live? Kanga asked. He's going to live with me, Pooh said. Oh, thank you, Pooh. Piglet said, I'd love that. Everyone thought it was especially nice of Piglet to give his house to Owl. They also thought it was very heroic because Piglet loved his house more than anything in the world. So the party for Pooh turned into a party for two heroes, Pooh and Piglet. Everyone sang and played all day. And that's the end of our story. Wow, that was quite an adventure. From windy days to flooding rain to houses being destroyed. And then at the end, the friends came together and helped one another. And you know, that's something you can do too. You can help one another. You can help your brother or your sister, or both, or maybe just a friend down the block. Well, whatever it might be, always try to do your best and help other people, because now's the time to go outside and have some fun, because this Winnie the Pooh story, it's all done.